Right, over to Emmerdale now, where Dawn and Billy are, of course, struggling with their baby son's leukemia diagnosis.
Hello, Evan. I'm sorry to say, Evan has a condition called acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
We need to stop picking each other apart.
I haven't left this place in weeks.
And you keep saying, so go home, go now, I'm here.
What, do you think I can just walk away from him? I can't.
He'll gradually sleep less and stir more. If I was you, I would take advantage, get some coop. There's nothing you can do now.
Any magical cures?
Oh, you should ask. Sleeping pills. I'll find me help.
Oh, I can't take them.
Well, that last scene was an exclusive look at tonight's Emmerdale. And actress Olivia Bromley, who of course plays Dawn, joins me now. And when I saw that, I thought, for goodness sake, don't offer this woman sleeping pills.
I know.
She's trying her best to get over the past.
I know, she's got enough on her plate.
That's the last thing she wants to do, is to go back to all those bad habits while she's going through this trauma. Crikey, what a troubled background.
I know.
Poor
Dawn.
soul.
Yeah. She's had a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
And she's really overcome so much and she's been doing so well, but obviously, out of the blue now, she's got this terrible diagnosis for her child. So her and Billy are navigating this really difficult diagnosis. So on top of everything else, as a new mother, she's got to deal with that.
And she cannot go back to that. We don't want her, taking anything, any sort of anything that will bring back those addictions that she's faced
in a vulnerable place as well.
Of course. Now, the thing about this is you know well, because you've researched it thoroughly, you've spoken to parents who are going through this.
Yeah.
It's real. It happens to kids.
Yeah.
So it's so important for you to get it right, isn't it?
It is, and we have been working with an amazing charity called Leukemia Care who've been advising us on the story. Because we just, we're so proud of doing this story and we just want to do justice to parents who are going through it. And particularly how it impacts, family life, financial, implications of suddenly getting a diagnosis and your whole world turning upside down. So we have spoken to real parents and everyone has been so generous with their stories and telling us, what they've been through. And we hopefully will be able to, represent that, really, because it's a lonely place to be sometimes when you're a parent of a very, very ill child. So one mother said to me that she felt the story was making her feel less alone and more heard, and so, that's why we do it, really.
Oh, that's lovely. That really is. It's really important because, as well as that too, what I love, again, Emmerdale is always reflecting real life, but the tensions between relationships.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes you think something like that's going to bring you together, and it does, but if there aren't any tensions in a relationship, it can make it very difficult, can't it?
Yeah, of course. And I mean, Dawn and Billy are a young couple, and we've spoken to so many people who said, going through this, it's such a trial and such a challenging time for any relationship. And also there's an element often with, very vulnerable children having to have chemotherapy where you have to isolate from the rest of the family. And so, we're all used to that with COVID potentially, but when the rest of the world's not doing it and you're having to maybe live in hospital and maybe you're a single parent, you're having to go through it and stuff. So
you're sort of in a bubble, aren't you?
Yeah, you're having to be, you're having to be often isolated from your other children, for the safety of this child. So I think this is why Leukemia Care do incredible work, because they offer emotional and financial support in these kind of times where
when you need it.
Are having to maybe live in a hospital.
Of course, when you need that and when you need somebody that understands.
Absolutely.
And that's, again, when people are seeing that story on Emmerdale, it'll just make all of us understand a little bit better as to what they're going through. The thing about Emmerdale is, as a family, I know people go, oh, no, it isn't. It really is.
It is,
I mean, I've been there, we've done the show from up there. It's so welcoming. It's absolutely lovely. So much so, you've got a band. The Emmerdale Band. How are they doing?
Yeah. So, the Emmerdale Band,
it's great, because you play at charity things and all that, don't you?
It's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, it is. So, Emmerdale is a real family vibe, and everyone says it. And I think that the Emmerdale Band has been going for many years. It's kind of like a revolving door of cast members who come in and out and play. There's a lot of musical people in Emmerdale. And so, yeah, we're doing a little charity gigs here and there, and it's so fun.
Where do you rehearse? Do you rehearse sort of in between? You can't...
In little local studios in Leeds. Sometimes we're in the green room and, you know, just acoustic. You know, it's all very thrown together, but it's a lovely thing to be able to do for charity.
What a great idea. Look, there you are. This is the latest incarnation
this is the latest, but, you know, lots of different people. I mean, yeah, come in and out.
It's a broad church. If you can sing or play an instrument...
Everyone's welcome.
You're there. And I think that's... And again, shows you, you know, the power of Emmerdale. Speaking of that, though, it's global. It's not just in the UK. I mean, you've been abroad and got recognised.
Yes.
I mean, at the Vatican, you got recognised, for goodness sakes.
That's so funny. I mean, obviously, in Yorkshire, you'd imagine you'd get recognised quite a lot. But yeah, this picture...
With two nuns. Two smashing nuns.
I was on holiday in Rome, outside the Vatican, and two nuns, big Emmerdale fans came up, so that was great.
Well, it'll be an education for them.
I know, absolutely.
They'll know all about human life. All human life is there. And what's fascinating about you, you were born in Japan.
I was,
so your first words would be Japanese.
Yes,
Have you remembered any Japanese?
Well, I mean, I've not been back to Japan. I've been talking about this recently because I really want to go, and it's crazy. I've not been back since I was 3. But, yeah, my first 3 years were in Japan. And so when I was first kind of, you know, talking...
Yeah, and you're
Japanese.
like a little sponge because you're talking to your friends.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I haven't been back, and now I don't remember any Japanese. So my plan is, hopefully, to go back at the end of this year.
You've got... It's one of the most interesting places I've ever been to. I absolutely loved it. I've never felt more alien in a good way. You know, do you know what I mean? It was, and everybody was so helpful. So if you want to practice their English, that's the only thing you might find, that they all want to practice their English. But what a great thing. Do you know what? It's in there somewhere in your brain.
Maybe it'll
those
just come
Japanese
out if
words
I go.
are there.
Maybe I'll just start speaking.
Go over there and have lots of sake.
Yes.
And then it'll all come out.
Who knows? Yeah.
It'll all come out. Meanwhile, we shall enjoy you in Emmerdale, though. If you go to Japan, it's just on holiday. Continues tonight, 7:30, of course, on ITV1. So good to see you.
Thank you so
really
much
good
for
to see
having
you.
me.
Thank you.